was a medical laboratory technician, and obviously you become the NCOIC and superintendent as you go through your career. And I was in the military for 22 years, so that's pretty much what I was doing. I was also a technical instructor for the lab, so it was pretty. I liked it. I enjoyed it actually. Yeah. Can I? I'm going to have to go back a little bit because I actually work with Trajector as vet competent. What happened was I I really didn't start trying to get any compensation from the military until after um, almost 13 years, and that was due to my knee. And so I work with a VSO, and there are levels to being a VSO. There are people that are interested in the job, people that are not so interested, and people that are interested in helping people just doing what they do. But anyway, ultimately, with Vet Comp and Pen, they were the first to get any kind of compensation for me for my knee. But as we move forward, and we're going to try to go through this pretty quick, because what happened was I kind of was wobbling between the VSOs and Vet Comp and Pen. So after a while, I just let everybody go and just stopped for a while, because it was a scenario where I was getting so many denials. It was like, well, why am I doing this? And then for whatever reason, and I kind of told my wife, because I was at a place where I had two knees replaced and I was going through a lot of things. And it was like, okay, and I got an email from Trajector. Maybe they hit a refresh, remember that they did some work with me. And just last year, we put together, they went through my medical record again. And ultimately, they identified, how you say, a way forward regarding how to make sense out of what my medical condition was. In other words, I think when I think about Trajector and what they do, it's more like a lawyer, like getting a lawyer on your team to take a look at your medical record and scan through it. All you can do is give them the medical record. After that, it is what it is in the record. And they pretty much, they almost saw immediately, that medical team saw immediately that I can't work, I don't work, and these are the reasons why. And initially, when they put together the claim, for whatever reason, I didn't really, because everything is so systematic with Trajector. All you do is give them the information that they have that's available, give them your medical record information, and then it's a scenario where they're going to identify multiple ways forward, but they actually already see the one that is going to make the most sense out of your case, I think. And in this particular case, they identified the fact that I was unemployable. I was just simply unemployable. And it was there in the medical record. And the way the team wrote it up, even though I didn't look at it initially, when I did take a second to look at what I had actually sent in, I was very impressed, because I actually told my wife, I said, listen, if they don't give me any compensation based on what they see with the documentation that this person has put together for me, then there's nothing to do. There's nothing more, because this is so clean and so concise and so directed to the person that I am, based on my medical record, that it just didn't make sense for them not to grant me compensation. And yeah, I think I think it's filing claims is a burnout, especially when you're not successful, and especially the way they deny you. But like I said, if you get a quality medical team together like they do have with Trajector, let them comb through your medical record and let them identify who you are, and those behaviors that are warranted compensation based on those things that happen to you while you're in service, then there you have it. There's not much more to it. It was so matter of fact that uh, the documentation was so clean. It's actually like, it's like, wow, they really got a team together that knows what they're doing. Nobody likes to pay for anything, right? Especially nobody wants to pay for anything that there is supposed to be a system in place to address the same thing that you all are able to do. Nobody wants. I can see while some folks would find that the fees may be uncomfortable with it, but the thing about it is nobody's going to get anything for nothing. I mean, that's it's simply, especially if you want a result. Now, like I said, I mean, I was sitting on my hands for almost 10 years. I mean, not to say that along the way I wasn't getting some kind of compensation, but ultimately, whenever you get to a place where you are not working anymore, you want maximum compensation if you can get it. And that's pretty much what they were able to do for me. And so far as the compensation part, the question, getting back to your question, it has to do with what you value. I mean, I look at the big picture in that things have changed in the 10 years that when I worked with Vet Comp and Pen, because it's only three payments of the increase that you achieve for the client. But moving 10 years forward, inflation and everything else, cost of living, yada, 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 now it's four. I was kind of surprised whenever I found that to be what the reality is. But then when I look at the big picture, is that it makes sense to get it done, be done, and move forward, rather than I just felt based on the way Trajector was set up, they're set up to get things done. And if they can't get things done, they won't waste your time. Referred a couple folks to Trajector, and they were successful. And that's pretty much how I feel about it. I feel it's the value and the pricing system is based on the individual. If you want to continue to battle it out, okay, battle it out and let's see how successful you're going to be. And I hope you are, with the VSO, whoever. But if you're trying to move forward, be done, and see what the real results are going to be, yay or nay, I mean, you don't pay until you are compensated. So, let them do some leg work for you and see if you're going to get compensated. If you get compensated, then yay. If not, then there's nothing out of your pocket. But like I said, for me, it worked.